and welcome to another Gardener Gone Wild video. As the ginkgo tree says, it is autumn. And obviously that's been a continual theme of the videos lately, mainly because it is A, autumn, and B, it's autumn. So as you can see, here's the Raumati Village Community Garden. And this is our before shot really. It's going to be doing a fair bit of work today on it, and just having a quick look at the beds, and basically we're going to be digging in some of this compost over here and applying it on these beds, and just clearing out remains of the crops and all of that. Obviously we're still keeping our good old friend the sage over here. I'm sure the sage would do with a nice feed. And might be able to move some of these nice mustards growing here, and probably not this poor little taupa tree, I'm sorry buddy. And obviously we've got a little rainbow shard or silver beet or beet greens or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I jolly do like growing those plants. And I think that's kind of the end for the tomatoes, as you can see. I've already ripped them out in that back here and planted the broad beans for the winter, because I always advocate broad beans as an excellent winter crop really, especially for here in Raumati. They seem to grow really well. And yeah, oh my word, we've still got a zucchini. It's been eaten away, but we've still got one. Need to harvest that. I mean, the plant looks somewhat had it, but yeah, we've still got a zucchini. We've still got a coriander that's flowering and seeding as well. Oh, I think that's a beetroot over there. Beetroot, beetrooty root. And yeah, that sort of sums up the before of the garden. And obviously the focus will be on these free beds and using up some of these overflowing compost heaps. And yeah, well, in a minute you will be seeing the transformation, the marvels of video editing. Please enjoy looking at this walnut tree while we wait for the work on the garden to be completed. And this grapefruit tree. And there we have it. Notice the difference. Just look at what we've added, and also what we haven't added. The times when gardening actually involves removing things rather than adding things. And that happens quite often, wouldn't you say? Anyway, so basically what we've done is we've just dug in some of the branches and all of that, and also just some of the old crops like the tomatoes and the zucchinis that were just naturally dying off anyway. And obviously I buried them into beds. I also tried to use some of this compost. Opened up the compost bin. It's got some little wire loop just there holding it together. But basically the compost didn't really decompose much over the summer, and in fact even from last season as well, it's in the season before that. But yeah, it's just because it's been so dry, and even over winter we haven't had, last winter we haven't had much rain. This year we haven't had much rain for autumn. Like, we've had a couple of deluges of rain, but other than that haven't really had much at all. I mean, the soil doesn't look dry, it's still got a fair bit of moisture, but even though we still had to water everything when putting it in, just because it does still dry out very quickly. And the soil, even though it's really good, high, organic matter content, it's water, the amount of water it can actually retain isn't actually that terribly high, so it does dry out quite easily. And little Sage's had a haircut. Yeah, grow back quite nicely from the base there. So yeah, So a few of us got together, you know, volunteers, and we just went along and just cleared these and, you know, dug out a good deal of the beds, and you can still see some of the bits, you know, on the surface that I've just buried in. And that more or less sums up what we sort of did here. I've transplanted a couple of little mustards as well, so little mustard greens here. In fact, we could probably take off another leaf and yeah, they should do to bounce back a bit. So still got these nice broad beans along here. I mean, broad beans are quite a funny one. So a lot of people, you know, it's one of those things that a lot of people either really like or really don't like. Now it's quite weird that it's like that, considering I feel like a lot of it is down to how you cook them as well. Like, I've always had them really nice. I mean, you know, here at Gardener Gone Wild, you know, Gone Wild Productions HQ, you know, with you know, always get a good plant-based meal, or quite a few throughout the day, because I've quite a large, you know, calorie requirement for each day. So I do a lot, or at least I like to think I do a lot. Some days I don't do a lot, but other days I do quite a bit. And always need some good, nice, tasty, sustaining fuel to keep me going. So I like my fuel. So on the subject of fuel, I mean, this ginkgo isn't exactly fuel material. And I mean, obviously a lot of these nutrients will be coming out of the leaves now at the moment. I mean, we're not at the most nutritious time of year. But I mean, even then, you know, the ginkgo is still an incredibly, you know, incredibly good nutritious plant. For the life of me, I can't remember what's so great about it. But I know that, you know, ginkgo leaf tea is, you know, nice thing to make, and also, you know, people buy from the health stores, you know, those really fancy ginkgo leaf extract pills and all that kind of stuff. When yeah, ginkgo tree, you've got the good stuff. You've got your ginkgo. And I mean, the thing about a ginkgo is it's got an interesting taste. It's not actually as strong as usual, you know, right now, because yeah, obviously a lot of that good stuff is gone. But even then, you know, it's a hard one to describe. That's all I can say. It's a hard one to, and we'll just leave the ginkgo there at that. So as you can see here, we've sort of got this little kind of abandoned patch, really. I tried planting like, first of all it was pumpkins here, and I tried with daikon radishes, and both of those failed quite spectacularly. And all we've really got remaining is a couple of incredibly unhealthy tree mallows, this ivy that I just keep cutting back, and a bamboo stake garden. That's about it. Bamboo stake garden and this good old grass, and yeah, and obviously litter that probably needs to be cleaned up at some stage, but other than that, that's about it. And yeah, so obviously, you know, at the moment things are still in crazy land. Shall I pop you viewers over here? Can you viewers still see me? Obviously you can still see me. I mean, you're my viewers, and viewers see me. How about now? Hello viewers. There we are. I just feel like sitting down. I mean, we've got this nice sunshine over there that you can't see from your angle. But yeah. So just mean to say, like, for my last chat, my stream rant, just like to sort of think about a couple of things as well. I mean, it was quite interesting in the news. This news article, and there's this, you know, this person who I'm not going to name because obviously, I don't want to get publicity. And I mean, on this YouTube channel, you know, sure, what I'm talking about is obviously bad publicity, but even bad publicity is still publicity, and that's the thing, you know. For someone like that, we don't want to be talking about how yeah, you know, talking about them, giving them credit for something like this, when we could just still talk about it anyway, without giving them credit. And, yeah, they said they thought that it'd be a good idea if New Zealand had 10 million people in it. And so just to sort of, for anyone outside of New Zealand, obviously New Zealand has currently, due to this crown pathogen business, we officially have over 5 million people. And now I'm the sort of person who I want to keep New Zealand a low population place. And what I mean is it's not a case of I've got, you know, I just want to, you know, there to be heaps of room for, you know, those who are in New Zealand. I mean, lots and lots of room, because, you know, this person was trying to say that most of the country's landmass has no people on it, and there's all this extra room we could fit people in. And if we had all these extra people, it'd mean things like, you know, utilities and services would end up being so much more cheaper, and it'd be cheaper to import things from overseas and stuff like that. But the thing is too is that, you know, she's trying to, you know, they're trying to say that overseas, you know, there's a, you know, that they've got the scales of economy and it makes living so much cheaper. But the thing is, you know, yeah, sure, living is a bit more expensive, but I'd like to say that, you know, we get a bit of something, you know, something out of it for the privilege, you know. And yeah, you know, it's just a case of, I feel like New Zealand should be somewhere that's a bit different. And also, we need land set aside for nature. And this person thinks, oh yeah, we've got 1/3 of the country is conservation land, so those other 2/3 can be places for people to live and all of that. The only problem with that is nature doesn't stay within reserves. And even then, you think of it this way, when people come along and settle a land, when the land is unsettled with people, it's full of wildlife. And, you know, everything from, well, I mean, can't really need birdies in that oh, there are birdies in the ginkgo tree, right up the top there. See if we can zoom on into them. I think they're little thrushes or blackbirds. The sun's kind of in my eyes, so I can't really see that well. But, where are they? Where are they? Let's just search for ginkgo. Hello ginkgo, where are the birdies? Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Got some birdies there. Wait. So, you know, we need to make space for that. And also too is, you know, currently a lot of the country is covered with pasture. And this pasture obviously, you know, is it's used for, you know, the various industries that involve turning cattle beasts and other forms of animals, including, you know, ruminants and sheep, etc., into food for humans. Now obviously my stance is, obviously, I'm a plant muncher, right? So that means I just eat plants. And fungi. I like eating fungi too as well. And yeast are fungi, yeast are good. And I eat plants. And that's basically all I eat. So I feel like you don't even need to have the animals for the food. And it's a case of, like, morally I could not harm an animal to eat it. I just couldn't. I mean, you know, look, I've had my videos on rat traps and all of that, and I've got no problem with that. Like, I've actually got no problem with that. And let's face it, you know, you're not going to be eating a rat at the end of the day. I mean, some people do eat rats, I think. You know, you can technically eat rats most of the time, but even then, there are many exceptions to that rule, including, obviously, various pests and diseases. Pests and diseases. Now I'm talking like a horticultural textbook. No. What I mean is, let's start with pathogens that you can get from them. Let's face it, places like you know, South America, they have hantavirus, and that's basically quite a harmful virus. I think it affects the you know, the brain in the end, and yeah, and that obviously can be, you know, transmitted through contact, and I believe obviously eating those certain forms of rodents. Obviously that doesn't stop, you know, guinea pig or KV farming, and I mean, I guess it's more efficient when raising a big cattle beast, but even then I don't see why you'd need to do a guinea pig. Like, my guinea pigs are quite happy on my front lawn. But even then, you know, I'm not going to necessarily rant too much on that. And where were we? Also chemicals, like, so say if I caught a rat in my backyard and ate it, well, a lot of people put out rodent baits and everything, and all those lovely, you know, blood thinners and all of that, but some people also take to manage their heart problems due to clogged arteries and all that kind of good, not very good stuff at all. It's really not so good things. And it's a case of, do you really want to be having that from a rodent carcass? Plus also they eat rubbish and all that plastic and everything, so the poor things having to live in such a horrible environment. It's not good. And where were we again? This is so funny. Let me just take a break. See you soon, viewer. Please enjoy the brief interlude before we head back to the video. As you can see, this is a taupita tree. It's a species native to New Zealand and is of the Caprosma genus. The Latin name is Caprosma repens. Its berries are edible. Birds often eat them and disperse them, and the seeds can be used as a coffee substitute. I hope you enjoyed this interval. Fun facts by Gardener Gone Wild. Excellent. That was a good break, don't you think? And now it's time to get back on with the show. I seem to be very distracted today. I think I filmed a whole heap of this video without pressing the record button. Because let's face it, I'm Gardener Gone Wild. I'm not Gardener Gone Videographer. Or just Gone Videographer. Not a videographer, I'm just a dude who walks around in bare feet and does a painting during the day as well, because let's face it, you've got a whole bunch of pallets and old cans of paint and some tropical plants that need greenhouses and a whole bunch of old bubble wrap. You make greenhouses, because what else would you make? There's plenty of other things you can make, but greenhouses, surely. So yeah, I didn't even really talk much about you know, crown pathogen and this person who thinks that New Zealand should have 10 million people. Even I spent a long time doing so. It's amazing the power of a ramble, when you can talk for a very long time and you can actually circle around the same area heaps and heaps and heaps, and you can still keep doing that, you know. I think this is, you know, Gardener Gone Rambling, the series, you know. And I mean, I hope you viewers enjoy this. Because if you don't, I mean, I kind of understand, but again, I still would hope you guys, you know, all you viewers out there enjoying this and feeling like, oh, yep, I really like this video. And it's fine if you don't. But if you feel like it, obviously, you know. And, yeah. So, as you can see, you know, this is, just heading out, you know, from the church and the community garden. We're actually going to head out this time. And there's just, you know, a couple of old macrocarpa trees and a silver birch, which doesn't have a kedidoo on top. I mean, really? And this lovely little flower over here. Yet again, I don't think I actually talked about this in this video, but I was just talking about how the definition of a weed is very circumstantial. and I personally don't even really believe in it, full stop. And it's a perfectly good plant. Many people grow it in the gardens, but since it's growing in a crack there, they're most likely going to pull it out. Then there's a Mexican daisy. Introduced to this country, you know, obviously because it looked nice. Maybe it's just a castaway, you know, but who knows? Either way, it's here, it's pretty, and I don't believe it really causes any harm. I mean, I have not encountered a situation where a Mexican daisy is displacing native species and causing such devastation. Or if it ever was, it's still nowhere near as bad as half the other species I've introduced in this country, or even just naturally present but more common. So it's all a case of perspective, I believe, you know. One person's perspective, this is a great plant. It's easy to grow, it's pretty, and let's face it, it's one of the few things you can grow out of an old concrete retaining wall. I mean, in Wellington you see so many of them about. It's just great. And that's what I think. I think it's great that you see things actually growing out of these barren anthroponic, you know, environments, you know, and not just seeing barrenness all the time. Anyway, I do like this Chilean rhubarb. It has some nice properties that can be used medicinally, but otherwise you should not be harvesting it, because most likely it'll be quite toxic. Thank you for listening to me, the Not Herbalist. Well, I believe this is a nice macrocarpa tree, and yeah, these have obviously been here for quite a while. But what is quite sad is that a few years back they cut down the one just in the, you know, in the middle here, and I don't understand how they, you know, how they manage the trees and everything. There's sort of a mentality, you know, in New Zealand really, that basically sun is this amazing great thing, and it is, but not when it's basically streaming through your window every morning, and when it's so hot, and also when our UV levels are you know, our amount of ultraviolet, you know, coming down, because, you know, the good old ozone hole, which some people are so excited about because it's, you know, healing, and it is healing, but it's still going to take at least 50 years before, you know, there's actually a noticeable difference in anything from skin cancer rates to yeah, just, you know, overall, you know, the size of the ozone hole. And here we have it, the stump from what was an amazing tree, and I think they cut it down because, as you see, it's quite rotten in the centre, and fair enough. They don't actually think of planting anything, especially something big and decent like a macrocarpa in its spot. All these trees here, this taupita here, I think there's a couple actually, and the ornamental cherry, or bird cherry, whatever it is, it's a form of wild cherry that was obviously introduced to this country and has these very small berries that A, birds like, and B, you can eat them, but half the time the flavour is not the greatest, and basically this very thin layer of fruit, this very large seed, and the fruit doesn't even taste that great, and it's hard to get off the seed, and when you realise, why did you do it in the first place? And we even have a little karo tree slap bang in the middle here. And the sad thing is, though, is that none of this is likely to even be let to grow. We're probably all just going to cut all this down when it gets, you know, big enough that the, you know, the council maintenance department actually acknowledge the existence of them. Oh yeah, I know, sorry for not being the most optimistic person you'll probably hear on YouTube today. I mean, I could be more optimistic than others, surely. So, for now, I think that more or less sums it up. I didn't actually end up really talking about a lot because I just get sidetracked. But I mean, when you're full of this wonderful world, full of all these different things that distract you, I mean, what else would you do? And thank you for watching this amazing video that is possibly an excellent distraction for your day. If you want to see more awesome content like this, please like and subscribe and continue watching the excellent videos of Gardener Gone Wild. That did not sound very wild, did it? Gardener Gone Wild! Maybe that will do. I think I should click off before I make any silly noises. Goodbye.